Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's definitely been a while since I've gotten a new piercing. I think the last piercing I've gotten was my daith. Either way, it's been a while, so I finally got around to getting another one, which you guys saw on Snapchat if you follow me on Snapchat. And I think I posted it, a picture of it to my Instagram story. So if you follow me on Snapchat or Instagram, you probably already have seen it. But it is my industrial. You also could probably tell from the title that I got my industrial pierced. So usually I write down some notes on my phone, but I've kind of been really busy lately. So I don't have any notes written down, so I'm just going to try to remember everything off the top of my head. So please bear with me. But yeah, this is going to be my industrial piercing experience video. Let me know if you guys want like monthly updates or things of that nature regarding this piercing, because I could probably do that if you guys want to see it. Alright, so first off, let me just say I wanted to get it pierced on this ear. And I always say this is like my fucked up ear. And if you guys watched my infected piercing story from back in the day, this is that ear. This is the result of that whole story. So it's obviously like misshapen, if you guys can see. This ear is not. This ear, I'm trying to get the hair out of the way. This ear definitely is misshapen. So I wanted to get it on that ear, just because, well, I feel like I have a lot of piercings on this ear, and I don't want like a whole bunch of piercings on one ear. For the longest time, like this was the only ear I was getting pierced, so decided to kind of start getting piercings on this ear, and so that's the ear I wanted it on. And also I like to sleep on this side too. But I went in to my piercer knowing that he probably wouldn't be able to pierce this ear in regards to this piercing. So I kind of already knew that, and you know, I had a backup piercing in mind if he wasn't able to do it on this ear as well, because some people, even though they might not have fucked up shaped ears like this ear, they still don't have the correct like ear anatomy to get the industrial. But like 9 times out of 10, everyone can. So he looked at it and he's like, it wouldn't really work. He could do it, but it would just probably cause a lot of like irritation and things like that to the piercing, because since it's not like normal shaped, the bar would really touch that ridge, and it's not really supposed to, because it like kind of would push the bar like forward, and I don't know necessarily if it would migrate or not, but it just wouldn't be as good. So I was like, alright, well, can you do it on this ear? He was like, yeah, that ear's perfectly fine, why not that ear? And I'm like, alright, let's do it. Yeah, and also I want to say, I have said a couple of different times in the past, like my past videos, I think even the piercings I wouldn't get, or body modification video I wouldn't get, or something like that, even said I probably wouldn't get my industrial. Well, I've always liked this piercing, and I've always wanted it, but the reason I've always stated that I wouldn't ever get it is because I've heard that healing for it can be like a real like pain in the butt, and just like take a long time, and you know, all these sorts of things, and it kind of just like turned me off on the idea of getting it. Well, my piercer, he has like, it's his fault that I even got this piercing. He has a lot of like really nice fancy jewelry for industrial piercing, so it's not the typical like straight bar or like the wavy bar. It's, you know, this kind of piercing, or this specific piercing, it's come a long way in terms of jewelry, so more people are trying to get it because the jewelry is really nice. And my piercer, he was posting on Facebook like all these beautiful jewelries for her, and they were so shiny, so sparkly, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to get this piercing, because I just couldn't stop thinking about the jewelry. So yeah, that's why I ended up getting it. It wasn't solely based on the jewelry, but that was really like what got me into it. Plus I'm like, you know, I've had piercings, obviously, you know, that have been difficult to heal, like my nipples, those were difficult to heal, you know, and still some days it's kind of like they're still healing. You know, I'm trying to think, my rook was kind of a pain for me to heal, you know, so I've had piercings that have been kind of a pain to heal, and I've worked through it, and so I'm like, you know what, go ahead and do it. So yeah, that's kind of what got me to get this piercing. So I can't talk. I will try to show you guys a close up and a little bit of it. So let's see. I'm trying to think. The bar length, I want to say, is like 1.5 inches. I could be wrong, but I kind of want to say that's what he said, and then like that's the typical length for people. I don't have extra room on mine for swelling, but I'm not really one of those people, with the exception of like my nipple piercings, where I didn't need extra length on the bar for swelling. You know, like when I got my dimples pierced, I didn't need like the ridiculously long bars. So my bar is pretty standard in size. Alright, so let me think. Oh, it's a 14 gauge, typical size. That's pretty standard, especially for this piercing. Pain is what everyone's going to talk about or ask me about, I mean. Alright, I've always said this in my videos and I will always say it. Pain is just kind of relative, so what hurts me may not hurt you and vice versa. I feel like I have a relatively high pain tolerance, so 1 out of 10 to be like the most painful. I would probably give this a 6. Well, I would give the first initial piercing, I would probably give that a 4. It was relatively painless, because with like normal bars, like normal straight plain bars for industrials, when you are getting pierced, typically the piercer will just go through one hole and then continue on to the other hole. Well, because I have jewelry on my bar, because this jewelry just slides right off, my piercer had to do one piercing, put the bar in, and then he had to do the second hole. So the second hole probably hurt like a 6.5 to 7. But overall, I would just say like together it was probably like a 6. But yeah, individually it was a bit more painful. The second hole that he did was more painful just because the area has already been punctured, and so like, you know, my body's like sending, you know, all these signs like, oh my gosh, we have a wound, like that sort of thing. You guys know what I mean. So my adrenaline had kind of depleted already, so it was, you know, I was able to really feel it more as opposed to like the first hole. So yeah, he did one hole at a time, and then he put the bar in the first hole that he had done, and then he slid that jewelry on, and then, you know, put it through the other hole, and obviously put the bolts on and things like that. So yeah, overall it was a really quick process. I'm trying to think. I don't really think I have anything else to share with you guys. Healing time for this piercing, traditionally they say about 6 to 12 months, so half a year to a full year. For me, I find with cartilage piercings or piercings that have cartilage, with the exception of my nose, I find that it takes me a bit longer than a year to heal. So yeah, right now my ear hurts, it's throbbing. I have been icing it, I have been taking ibuprofen. But yeah, and like a lot of the ear is swollen, but that's kind of to be expected because it's not just like one piercing, technically it's 2 piercings. So yeah, it's hurts. To clean it, my piercer is not a big fan of sea salt soaks, and I understand that because people kind of tend to get sea salt soak happy and it dries the piercing out, and that causes more issues. So to clean it, he recommended Bactine, I think is what it's called, Bactine. Because back in the day when I first started getting piercings, the place that he was working at, they gave aftercare out, and it was in this like white bottle, and that stuff was a miracle, and all it was Bactine. So that's what he recommended to use, and let me grab what he specifically recommended me to get. Alright, so he recommended this, and it's the Band-Aid Hurt-Free First Aid Antiseptic, I can't even talk, pain relieving liquid. And so a lot of you might be like what? Yeah, this is not hydrogen peroxide, it's not alcohol, it's not like Neosporin, it's none of those. It's just like Bactine. You can get just Bactine, or just says Bactine on it, but this was actually cheaper than like the off-brand stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been using to clean it, just twice a day. Like I said, I've been icing and I've been taking ibuprofen, so that's kind of I think that's everything I have to say. If you guys have any specific questions, leave them down below and I'll either answer them down below or I will answer them in an updated video in regards to this piercing, of course, if you guys want to see those updates for it. But yeah, I think that's it. If you guys are interested in any of my other piercings, I have a whole playlist dedicated to them listed down below in the description box, along with my social media if you guys can follow me or anything. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video.